What's up, guys? Welcome to week number 17 of my 2018 training. Sorry if I sound a little bit more like a prepubescent boy than normal. My allergies have been shit for the last probably 2 weeks, so my nose has been stuffed up and running at the same time, and it's making my voice extra bassy. So, anyways, this is week 17 here. This week kind of mostly sucked ass, but I did have a little bit of a win in the middle of the week with this bench workout. Because I was going to be coaching at a meet all weekend, I ended up doing a hybrid day on Wednesday instead of my normal dynamic effort bench work. So I decided to take a axle bar, rig it up in the chains here to make a better version of a dead pin press. I like this way better than setting it up on the pins, and worked up to 315 for a triple and a double, which was pretty surprising and mostly pain-free actually. I changed a couple of things up in the warm-up, but mostly just decided to stick with the couple of variations that I have had success with over the last couple of months. Those mainly being anything on this thicker bar, and then also using the neutral grip Swiss bar. So going to kind of cycle through like variations like floor press, pin press from different heights, probably a full range of motion press with those two bars, and just use those for my variations until that shoulder is consistently feeling good. Just so I can actually start doing some pressing in the 300-pound range again instead of the just speed work or failing with bullshit in the 200. So by and far, this felt pretty good, and I had minimal amounts of pain. After hitting the two top sets on the pin presses, I did some touch and go sets of 10, which also were pain-free. I did those at 145, 165, 185, 205, and I think 235 here. So 55-pound bar, all for sets of 10. All of those moved pretty well. I was focusing more on just keeping a nice consistent groove and staying down out over my sternum rather than letting the bar drift back into the shoulders, and that all felt pretty good. After that, I tried a couple variations of tricep work that I just haven't done for a little while. This is a rolling skull crusher with the easy bar. I dropped the bench pad down onto the floor so I can get a little bit more range of motion on the triceps, since if I just go on the floor, it feels kind of like a partial press. And this felt really good. Doing that stretched out motion helps to kind of position the scapulas, also stretches out the lats, and then by the time you pull in towards the head and fire up from the bottom, you're doing a straight dead stop press all with the triceps. So those felt good. Took that up to 135 for the last couple of sets. Then I followed with this behind the neck dumbbell tricep extension. I did 5 sets of 20 with a 95-pound dumbbell, which is definitely a volume PR. I've gone heavier on them before. With these, I don't typically like to take them too heavy because I feel like it is a risk to benefit ratio that just starts to get a little bit sketchy after the 100-pound range. I've taken them up to like 120 to 140 for sets of 15 before, but it just feels like I don't have a whole lot more to gain by going a lot heavier than that on them. So I tend to keep those in the 15 to 25 rep range. So being able to knock out 100 reps of that was a volume PR for those as well, and my triceps were blown up after having already done the 50 reps with the skull crusher work. That brings us to the max effort lower day, which was Monday. The plan was to hit some work on the Duffalo bar with about 180 pounds of chain. 340, I believe, is as far as I got before my hips started to get all pissed off on me. You can see a little bit of that shift is present on this set here. This is my top set with, I believe, 340. Everything felt super strong on my back and on the descent. And for some reason, right as I hit down into the hole, I dumped hard into the right, and then have to try and drive out of the hole just with that one leg. So ended up getting the rep. I think it was like 520 or something at the top, but it felt pretty bad, and it flared up my my one side pretty bad as well. So by the time I got to these pulls, 405 against the light bands was about as heavy as I could go. So shut that down. Ended up going outside and doing some yoke walks afterwards. Those felt okay at the time. Probably wasn't actually the smartest thing I could have done because I was pretty flared up all week after that. And so this dynamic effort day also kind of went to shit. So as you can kind of see here, as I'm hitting down, that left side as you're watching it, my right as I'm me, tends to just go slightly off to the side. Sometimes I tilt to the side and kind of dump into more of the shoulder. Some of them it's dropping down evenly and I'm driving out of the hole uneven. But I ended up shutting this down and just doing a little bit of accessory work. I've got a chiropractor appointment scheduled for next week, so hopefully that should get everything cleared up and I can be back to training regularly. I'm pretty sure that the tilt is more isolated into like my QL on the right side, because that's where it seems to actually be tight rather than the hips. And when I'm doing the warm-ups on the belt squat, I don't have any symptoms going on there. So I think it is more in through like lower back or even that right lat just not wanting to come online and help stabilize the spine. So that is it. Hopefully I have some better news to report for next week. As always, if you like the video, like it and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to check out the gym's website at savagegym.com, and I will talk to you next week, hopefully sounding like I'm an actual adult man in my 30s. Take care.